Massive news, and the market is bleeding a little bit. We're going to talk about this, but most importantly, the CFTC news about the FBOT, basically the allowance of non-crypto exchanges to enter the US and target US consumers. Like, you guys have been telling us that you can't trade on this exchange, you can't trade on that exchange, this is not available in the US. That changes today, and that changes everything. Guys, today is a big show. I want to tell you exactly why this changes everything regarding perpetual DEXs, regarding US-based exchanges, and of course non-crypto or non-US-based crypto exchanges. We're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about other news that are relevant, and we're going to talk about the market. If that sounds good, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you don't know who I am. My name is Fefe. I bring you the latest alpha over at the 100x Club and at the 24/7 crypto channel every single day. So if you're not following these channels, go and subscribe. There's a link in the description. You can see me there every day and take the trades with us. But let's talk about this, because this is huge. So even though we have a little bit of a sell-off hill in the market, which I told you yesterday on the 100x Club on the analysis, this is an extremely big news. Why? Basically, what the news says is that the CFTC announced that FBOT advisory to provide regulated equality for non-crypto exchanges. No one understands this, so I'm here to boil it down for you. Number one, the CFTC is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. They are the entity that regulates the US derivatives market. So if you want to trade derivatives, futures, leverage, all the stuff that you're doing, it is regulated by the CFTC in the United States. Now, there are multiple different categories that these crypto exchanges or non-crypto exchanges, so any other financial exchange that wants to provide derivatives market trading, there are multiple categories that they can apply to under the CFTC so they can offer their services to the consumers in the United States. Now, one of these is the FBOT, or Foreign Board of Trade, which means that these are the exchange or market located outside of the United States. Now, there is another category which is relevant to this news, which is the DCM, which is they operate under the CFTC directly. Now, there are multiple reasons why one exchange registers as a FBOT, and multiple reasons why someone registers as a DMC. Now, in the past, if you just look at these two categories, there are multiple other categories that are not relevant now. If you look at these two categories, receiving or getting or acquiring an FBOT is much easier. You don't have to be you as an exchange. You don't have to be in the United States. You don't have to have the screening process that for example the DCM has. You don't have to spend billions of dollars in cost to be able to oblige to all these regulations. So I posted this tweet. You can look at it and you can just analyze all the details. But what you have to understand is that crypto exchanges there was no clarity under 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 and before Trump, to tell you the truth, on where these exchanges that are crypto exchanges and want to target the US market, how can they become licensed? And we've seen this over and over again. Like, you've seen it with Binance, we've seen it with all the other exchanges that got the KuCoin, for example, that unfortunately got fined. Now, there was an announcement happening yesterday, and the announcement said it's coming directly from the CFTC chair, and the announcement reads that regarding the Foreign Board of Trade FBOT registration framework for non-US entities legally organized and operating outside of the United States that seeks to provide persons physically located in the United States. So again, this is targeting the market. And it says here that today FBOT advisory provides regulatory clarity needed to legally onshore trading activity that was driven out of the United States. What does this mean? This basically means, as I said it in the tweet as well, this basically means that the chair said that the regulatory framework that is currently there in the United States is enough for any non-US crypto exchange to onboard US customers. That means that if a US exchange was to register, or a non-US exchange was to register as an FBOT, which we discussed a second ago, that would be sufficient enough for them to start offering derivative market products or exchange services to American consumers. That basically unlocks an insane amount of liquidity. It's not only a huge thing for crypto exchanges that are not US based, but it's also extremely big thing for every US consumer because now they will be allowed to trade on all the exchanges. You probably, as I started to show it, you've probably had a lot of times when we work with partners that we believe are very, very good, but they are not available in the United States and you can't legally use them and then you have to use a VPN and it just becomes a whole shit show. Now that is not going to be a problem. Again, this news is coming from yesterday, so I would imagine that every exchange today, the legal department of every exchange is submitting an 𝗪𝗏𝗡 application to the CFTC, and therefore they will be able to simply do so. This will be very, very, very interesting to follow through. Now, as Caroline says with the chair, she says that starting now, the CFTC welcomes back Americans that want to trade efficiently and safely under CFTC regulation. And it says here, just an example, how it said, what did it say? Somewhere it said that the previous regulation didn't allow. Now, it's very important. It's here. It's very important that previously, and when I say previously, before Trump or under 𝗪𝗔𝗙𝗪𝗛𝗏, that there was no clarity on how these exchanges could register. There was no clarity whether they should go as DCM, whether they should go as 𝗪𝗏𝗡. And the question might arise, okay, why didn't they just simply register for both? And it's simple because you could not acquire, and it's still very, very difficult to acquire a DCM registration in the United States. It's not easy. You have to be registered, you have to be located in, as an exchange, you have to be located in the United States. It costs billions and billions of dollars. It was not simple. But now, because the chair clarified that 𝗪𝗏𝗡 will be enough, it will be a very easy, fast, and cheap process for these exchanges to join. Now, let's not forget that what happened and what this means. And again, if you're still not convinced, then this is the time to listen. Also, are you guys here? Everything is happening. So since Sheldon is in jail. No, not yet. No, he's not in jail. He's doing something for school. This is why he couldn't attend. He says, shut up with Sheldon back. That's great. Tomorrow. Let me see here. Viewer reach. I was thinking 194 is low. Yes. Okay, we're going to talk about the markets as well. We're going to talk about the markets as well in a second. So, but let's not forget what happened here. What happened is super simple. 𝗍𝗍, the founder of Binance, has been sentenced for 4 months in prison because he was operating an exchange illegally in the United States. DCM was part of this. There was no clarity on how they could do it, and Binance actually paid a 2.85 billion fine. So these things will not happen. Now, what do I think is going to happen then? What are the potential, upsides and downsides? The upside, obviously, is the unlocking liquidity for all the markets. Billions and billions and hundreds of billions, in my opinion, will be able to flow into crypto through different, and also the distribution of the funds. So it's not going to be just Coinbase and Kraken and all these regulated Gemini in the US, but also now the markets open up and liquidity will flow into all the other exchanges. But I think what is the biggest loser of these should be, one, US-based crypto exchanges. So you can look at Coin as Coinbase. Coinbase is down 1.5% pre-market. I do think that these exchanges will get a hit now. I definitely think that's going to happen. You can look at Robinhood. Although Robinhood was down 0.2% before I did the show, before I prepped for the show. Now it's down 0.1 and 0.12. So I do think that these things are going to free fall at market open, because if people can start using any other, these guys were a monopolium basically acquiring these licenses in the United States, and now anybody can just simply jump on and use, and again, obviously not from now, but probably in a week or two, this will happen, that users will not be forced to use these American exchanges, and that will definitely have to result in a falling stock price. Also, if you look at we were looking at data specifically on what percentages of consumers are from the United States for Coinbase. Coinbase obviously is a large exchange as well as Robinhood, but we were looking at what percentage of the user base is in the United States. And based on, we couldn't find the actual information. What we could find is website traffic. And if you look at the fact that 52% of Coinbase's traffic is actually coming, 47 on desktop and 52 is coming from the United States, and over 80% is coming, over 80% of Robinhoods is coming from the United States. You could see why these stocks could free fall. So if you are holding any coin and Robinhood, I would really consider offloading some, seeing how the market will react. And obviously, I'm not saying like they are very great exchanges, but I would not be surprised if that happens. The second thing that will get hit, in my opinion, and this is something that you might want to pay attention to, is perpetual DEX tokens. Now, Again, the world is much bigger than the United States, I understand that, but it's still one of the strongest markets on the planet. And so the reason why some of these perpetual DEXs, we can talk about Hyperliquid, Hyperliquid obviously leads, massively leads, but you can talk about DYDX, you can talk about Arkham, you can talk about all these other Evo, for example. So you can talk about all these perpetual DEXs. They were very popular because you can trade in a self-custody manner, and you don't have to use a licensed exchange. So now if you're in the United States, the only thing you have to solve is how do you on-ramp, and from there on, people can't find you, the IRS can't, tax you, and you can just simply trade on these exchanges. And a lot of Americans use Hyperliquid because of this exact reason. But once there's going to be a regulatory framework, and you will be able to trade the same way, leverage and derivatives, the same way that you trade on Hyperliquid or on Coinbase, but you can use any other exchange with great free structure and whatnot. I don't see why would people not start to actually move into legalizing that trading as well when the framework is there. So I do believe Hyperliquid is already down like 14% from the top. Now, I would not be surprised if this was foreseen. So you see it like on the news, Hyperliquid is down 16%. And I would not be surprised now. Hyperliquid is building up a massive liquidity. And I know it's kind of crazy. You can call me crazy. Hyperliquid is an incredible product. Other people use Hyperliquid as well, not just Americans. But I would not be surprised if we would get a massive sell-off in Hyperliquid in the coming weeks because of this news. Now, obviously, we have to see how exchanges react, what exchanges react fast, what exchanges react first. But I would not be surprised to see Hyperliquid down sub 35, sub 32 if that happens. We are yet to see. And I'm obviously going to keep you updated. Now, I'm not here often, but I do have a Telegram channel where I update you. It's completely free. We have 9,000 people in there. You can just join in, and I share with you all my thoughts, all my tweets, everything that is actually happening. I'm leaving you voice notes. So go and join there. There's a link in the description. And of course, I'm also over at the 100 Desk Club. So even though I'm not here often, you can find me on these channels. Let's look a little bit at the market. Let's see what's actually happening. So it's saying, I don't understand this. I can't read this. My boy Fefe, what's happening? Bought 5K of PITH. So PITH is up because of the news. I have some random news for you that I want to because I actually pinned it here. It's up here. You can pin on the live chat. So yesterday we did a show on 24/7 Crypto looking at the tokens, and most of the tokens got into our entries. So we're going to look at that in a second. I just wanted to bring you some of the random news that we usually talk about. I always bring you some of the random news. One of them is Rabby Wallet. So Rabby Wallet is hinting. I would wanna think that it's going to be a token of some sort or an integration of Hyperliquid. I don't know what it's gonna be exactly, but I really want to believe that there has to be like an airdrop at some point. I know it's not likely, but this is so they're hinting to probably a Hyperliquid integration. Chainlink partners with Department of Commerce to bring macroeconomic data on chain. This is absolutely insane. So we're seeing the government basically partnering up with a crypto project to bring government data on chain. This is why Chainlink pumped. Now Chainlink retraced almost the entire move. Like if you look at Link, it's not looking good, bruv. So this was the news coming out here. The news pumped Link about 10%, and then it sold off like another 11%. The problem with these launches or announcements is that a lot of times insiders already know this is going to happen, and on the pump they offload, and this is exactly what we see here. And PITH was somehow part of that deal, so that's why PITH is holding pretty good. Let me just see. So PITH is holding. PITH is fucking flying, bro. Is flying up 110%, but I would not buy into it. Like I know people said that they are buying into it. I would not buy into this. Stock market hit all-time high, so S&P is up 6,500. It will end bad. They usually talk about this. I think we've got another 2 months, and then it's gonna be free fall, but we yet to see that. And then we have a higher time frame divergence, bearish divergence. I don't usually look at these because I think you just need to look at market structure at first, but this is happening as well. Now let's see. I'm gonna look at some of the tokens. Where is the bottom? I do think the bottom. So here's what I said yesterday, right? So here's what we talked about yesterday. I said that we are going to see. I was expecting this pullback to happen. If you look at the hourly chart, This here is a beautiful retrace down to an hourly demand zone. So you see we formed the higher high. Again, I know it can be quite different to understand. I started off with, you know, doing all the indicators and whatnot, and then you realize that they don't really work. And so I started doing market structure, and I started looking at the market differently. You can see all the track record here that we do, and in the community, all the trades I share with you openly here, and the account I'm running openly, so you can see all of that. But ultimately, here's what I'm thinking. So we do have a higher high formed here on the hourly chart, which indicates from a 4 hours. So I was screaming at everyone to buy here. We did buy and layer into the market here. Now, on the hourly, you do have a higher high from this 4 hour demand zone. Okay, this is a very strong level on the 4 hour chart. You have a higher high formed from that level, and that indicates a reversal. This is why I've been saying that I do think that the reversal is here, but we can see a retrace down to this level. This is what we've been discussing yesterday on 24/7 and the 100x Club. And so I believe that now that we have this is a no-brainer buy here. You have to buy this here with two contingencies. Okay, one, you either buy here and place your stop loss down below. Whether you're looking at any of the tokens, we can look at Solana, we can look at Bitcoin, but you have to keep an eye on the total market cap. You want to see this at 3.74, and the close, we should not close below 3.69 trillion on total market cap on the hourly chart to hold this level. I do think we're going to hold it, and I do think that we are going to bounce, but I'm not a fortune teller, I'm a trader. The next thing I can look at is the daily chart. Even if we lose this level here and we start selling off, I've been telling you and showing you that this here is a very, very, very strong demand zone. This here is a demand zone on the daily chart. You have a low, you have a push, you have a retrace. You have a low, you have a push, you have a retrace. You have a low, you have a push, you have a retrace. This is the normal structure of the market, which does not mean that this is the end of the world if we start closing below. I see posts, people saying the bull market is over and this is the end. It's not the end. Why? Because this is just a simple retrace on a higher time frame demand zone. So we're going, and it's going up. I usually say something called elevator up, stairs down. When elevator goes up and the stairs is coming down slowly, you always want to take the elevator. You never want to walk on the stairs when it comes to trading, and I do believe that we are going to reverse. Now, whether we're going to reverse from the 1 hour chart here, I think yes, but I don't know. One thing is kind of certain, that the daily chart will hold. If it doesn't matter, because the bull market is over. So that's why it's a no-brainer buy here, in my opinion. And I am targeting all the way up here, at least a new high at 4 trillion plus. So I do believe that if you have not allocated just yet, do it. I'm going to jump onto the 100x Club after this. I'm going to drop a video in 30 minutes after this. It will be linked down in the description, and you will be seeing my exact analysis on all the tokens. Guys, I hope this made sense. I hope that you enjoy this show, and I hope that you are going to position accordingly. It was a short show. I wanted to jump in here and see what's happening. I will be back here. I am dropping videos on the weekend, so subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and check out the links in the description. I hope I'll see you on the Telegram, on 24/7 Crypto, and on the 100x Club. Guys, appreciate you. Check out these videos. This is going to be the video on 100x Club about the token update. Subscribe here, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.